Welcome back to Festival Advice with the Hornaceks.
All right, yeah. So we did some videos before we went to Rockville with different stuff we use for festivals and all that. I did like a huge video, but today for Ink, we're gonna do a small breakdown and then see if anybody wants us to do any other stuff. So I've just got a bunch of different tents, and we're gonna basically go through, set up different size tents. I know you get tents that'll say 10 people, 6 people, but you don't really realize how big the space is in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up, I got a 10-man tent, a 6-man tent, a 3-man tent, and then a 1-man pop-up tent. We're gonna set up these things, and then I have some of the other stuff that's like blow-up couches and blow-up chairs. That's something that I think a lot of people would really like to have for festivals as well. But we'll get them blown up and we'll get them put inside these and give you guys sort of a tour of each one of these so you guys can actually see, if you buy a tent like this, how much space you'll actually have. Same thing with all the tents. So hopefully it's beneficial for you guys. And then, we'll do some other kind of videos with actual festival setups and some of the stuff I use for cooking and all that. But we're gonna go ahead and get these bad boys set up, and we'll be back with a little tour once they're done.
Welcome back, peoples. We just got all the tents set up and all this stuff set up, and we're gonna give you a tour from the biggest tent to the smallest tent.
All right,
Let's get it done.
so I gotta take this off of here real quick for you. I'll let Jackson Jace do the tour.
All right, this is the biggest tent.
How many people is this one?
10.
All right,
Got
so it's a 10-person tent.
a front door and a back door.
So you can, if you're one of the non-pineapple groups and you want your own space, you can set up a divider in there. So if you got like 2 married couples sharing a space, you could have 2 people on one side, 2 on the other. One of the other things I wanted to show y'all, what we use is these blow-up couches and blow-up chairs. So boom, that thing folds out into a huge ass bed. And then if a single person, that one folds out as well. I've been using these for a few festivals as well as a ton of NASCAR races. So fold it back up real quick. What I wanted to show you guys is, some of these tents fully set up, what it is, what it looks like with some of this shit in there. So Jace, help them out, nerds. You're fighting against gravity. All right, so if you have this bad boy inside the tent, now you can shift it all the way up against the wall and fold that bad boy out. So you could do 2 of these inside here if you wanted. Or if you just wanted this tent for a couple of y'all and then you want all your luggage in there. So this, if you had 2 of these, you could put 2 in there, one facing the other direction or whatever you wanted, and still have the space for a divider and your luggage and stuff. But I wanted to give you guys an idea of what a 10-person tent with one of these would look like. So fold that thing up. Next, we have a 6-person tent. So I would advise this one. I wouldn't really use if you only had one camping spot. It's going to take up a little more space. It's more than the 10 feet wide and all that. I take this one to Ink because usually I have 2 or 3 spaces at Ink. This one I set up at Rockville and it was perfect.
It was actually pretty nice.
We had a pretty sweet setup at Rockville with this, and I use a 10 by 20 canopy. So the canopy covered the top of this and in front of it. And honestly, Jackson Jace were able to sleep till 9:30 every day, and it stayed decent in there. So pull that couch out. What I wanted to show you though with this, depending on how many people, it says it's a 6-person. If you wanted to do 6 people and you just sort of slept on the ground or something like that, that's fine. But if you wanted to put this inside of there, this is what I wanted to show you. What we realized is this bad boy takes up a crap ton of space. So fold that thing out. So you could have 2 or 3 people in here if you wanted to, and it wouldn't be bad, and all your gear. So says six person if you sit there and sleep long ways. I'd say 3 people with this. What I did was me and my brother came and they slept in this, and I put this bitch in the back of my truck and slept in that, but it worked out good. But that is a 6-man tent, so there you go. And then you got the little bad boy over here. This is, what size is this supposed to be? This is a 2-man tent.
Yeah.
This was Jackson and Jace's old Boy Scout tent. Honestly, if you're just 2 people and don't want much and simple shit, I'd say use that. I don't ever use this damn thing anymore. I just have it, but there you go. And then the good old 1-man pop-up tent. This is what I had in the Marine Corps before I retired. I love this thing, honestly. If you're just a single person and you're rowing and you don't feel like setting up much, it does have a top that comes with it with the metal rod. I busted my rod. Actually, I might have gave it to Uncle Eddie because Uncle Eddie has one of these. I gave to him and I hooked him up with it. And then you have a simple, thermal rest, bed rest. But one of the other things I wanted to go over too with all your tents, always set up your tents prior. I have my boys help me with every single one of these. That way when I get there, they know exactly what poles set up the top. They know what poles go where. They know how to blow up these mattresses and everything like that. Because this one takes different plugins for blowing up the bigger portion and then the smaller portion. Then stakes. A lot of festivals don't want you using metal stakes. So I buy a bunch of different ones. I use these for simple, when you're setting up your tents, you want to stake them in first, set everything up. And then if you need to move them, these are simple. You just pull them out of the ground. And then what I do is I restake everything with these. If anybody's been to Blue Ridge or any of those other festivals that were crazy with the wind, I would advise buying these off Amazon, and they screw down in, and you're going to love it because it's a lot harder for shit to pull out of the ground. And then a rubber mallet. Sometimes they don't want you bringing actual sledgehammers or any of that. I'd also advise bringing some electrical tape or duct tape just in case you crack one of your tent rods or something. You don't want a broken tent rod and have to have 3 or 4 days. You can use these. So for the blow-up mattresses and everything, I do have a Jackery, and what I always do is I always use this whenever we do this stuff because this is what you're going to be using while you're out there. So I have one of these that plug in. You can also do the battery powered one. This one isn't bad, but it's probably about a quarter of the speed of what this is. So again, if all you have is batteries, then it works. I always have a bunch of the different nozzles. And then I bring these. My cousin did 20 years in the Army. I did 20 years in the Marine Corps, but he had a shit ton of these things. These are good if you get a hole in your blow-up stuff to patch them, or even in your tents if you get a tear or something like that. But there we go. There is all of the tent stuff. I can do videos if you guys want me to of the canopies we have. I've got 10 by 20 canopies. I've got regular dome canopies, and then everything else that I have when it comes to some of the different, I've got different coolers, all kinds of different stuff. I've got a huge setup. I do a lot of camping outdoors. I did 20 years in the Marine Corps. Different folding tables, different cooking tables, different chairs, cots, everything you can think of. And then I'll do more videos for you guys just to give you guys, I don't know, ideas to help you out. I'm not saying what I do is the best way to do stuff, but I've been doing it for a while. And if I could help people out, that's what I'm about. So let me know if you guys like these videos, and we're going to see you guys pretty soon at InkCarceration. So can't wait. Laters.